Hey, Peyton. So I just went through this presentation with Jolene. Be sure that you go ahead and take a look at my response to her post. I'll share a lot of the same things here, but just make sure that we're complete and everybody's on the same page on your team. Let's go ahead and make sure that you take a look at that. So basically, my recommendations or my comments are this: as you guys are doing a great job, right? These configurators they're all going to work. Every one of them will work. I think you have some good ideas here. And I just kind of want to take an opportunity here to kind of describe the difference between design thinking and human-centered design thinking. So a human-centered design process is a deep dive immersion technique. And basically the difference between this approach and regular design is in regular design methodologies, basically we're confronted with the task of designing a product, a solution, or some sort of a visual layout, right? Well, in human-centered design, the human-centered design process is different than the regular design process. In that human-centered design process, we need to find the underlying problem for which we are redesigning or designing something, okay? So right now we're designing a vehicle configurator kiosk. Is that the real essence of this project? No, it's not. Deep dive, human-centered design says that basically the premise is that we're not just going to design this kiosk. We're going to try to figure out the underlying issues. Why do we even need the kiosk? So once we determine those issues, then we can start determining the bigger problem. The human-centered design process is very much a process of creating a better quality of life, as opposed to simply just designing products or services. Okay, let me give you an example. So in a automobile purchasing process, basically we go to the dealership, we kind of look around on the lot a little bit, wait for somebody to walk up to us, tell them what we want, and they'll sit down, they'll give us all sorts of suggestions of things that they recommend, things that we don't really need, because of course they're just trying to get the price up, right? And then we get the high pressure salesperson, all these recommendations for features we don't need, and et cetera. Then we go to the finance person, and they're trying to get us to put as much down as we can. And okay, so we can eliminate all this. What's the bigger problem here? The bigger problem is that there are inherent issues associated with the purchasing process of a new automobile. So that's what we're after. We're not after designing a kiosk. We're after rethinking the way that people buy cars. Okay, so as I explained to Jolene in her video, we could take your ideas here and just start adding features that really would point to the elimination or really reducing the activity, the amount of contact we have with a salesperson and or a finance person. And by doing that, so we designed this configurator, but let's not stop there, okay? So let's say in this configurator, can you hook this to a driving simulator where you can do things like add all sorts of features to the driving simulator, like road conditions, or maybe even determine what the car would drive like in 10 years with 100,000 miles on it. Things like that. You could add questionnaires. What's your height and weight? So we can give you suggestions on the best model for you. Okay, what are your driving habits? Are you a slow, stop and go driver? Maybe you don't want an automatic transmission if you're a stop and go city driver where you're doing mostly, short-term deliveries. All right, just things like this that will really expedite the process by eliminating the salesperson and allowing the actual purchaser to do a lot of the preliminary work on their own, configuring the vehicle, test driving the vehicle in a simulator based on your choices in the configurator. And then, of course, making financial decisions. How much do you want to put down? What would your payments be if you put this much down? What is the resale value in 10 years with 100,000 miles on it, et cetera, et cetera. So just really push your creativity. And let's not stop at designing a configurator. Let's continue and really use this as an opportunity to change the way people buy cars, approach the process of buying cars. Okay, so again, be sure that you take a look at some of the other videos, specifically those posted for your teammates, and get back with your team, discuss it, and start working on our plans moving forward. All right, great job. All right, Peyton, good. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. All right, great. Thank you very much.